able to do well out there that led to such a good score?
I was very patient. I hit a lot of really, really good iron shots. I felt like I was in good control. I didn't feel like I didn't drive it very well. I mean, I kept it in play and kept it in front of me, which was, is a big part of it. But I just kind of kept it out of trouble, which is, I would much prefer be hitting the middle of the club face than doing that. But it's still a good sign in a really windy day like this. If I have far from my best, I can just kind of get it around the course and then just stayed patient and finally, made some putts on that back nine. So it was nice.
17, I know you played a pretty big fade. Could you talk through your game plan on that tee shot? Definitely a trickier one.
Yeah, that's a good example. It's just, it's really, really hard to describe, but it's, this wind direction today is very kind of west, bouncing between west and west-northwest and northwest, and it was a lot of crosswinds. You very, very rarely you actually never had a straight downwind or straight into the wind shot. So it's a lot of crosswinds where, the difference of riding the wind and holding the wind has a big difference of distance control and everything. But also with how this course kind of goes back and forth, you have one hole where it's like this and the next hole it's like that. So it's hard to get in a rhythm. So I think that I kind of struggled with that. So, that's just an instance of I know that I feel like I can just aim way left, and I honestly just kind of hit a little slice out there. That was another one. I hit that pretty far off the heel, but I'm giving it enough room to where it's, just kind of stay luckily in the fairway. Yeah.
So that's not the shot you'd want to hit if you were fully comfortable? Or
yes and no. I've hit a shot very similar to that a lot of times off of that tee. It's an awkward tee shot because it kind of asked the distance that it asked for off the tee is kind of like a 5-wood or 4-iron distance, but with such an elevated tee, it feels like the ball's going to stay in the air so long and you want to hit it low. It's just kind of a mental thing, I think, for a lot of us. So I just have kind of the last probably 3 or 4 years, I've just committed to almost hitting driver or 3-wood and just kind of hitting just a little dinky kind of shot out there. It's something to where I don't care what it looks like. I don't care anything. I'm just trying to hit it in the fairway and whatever's most comfortable doing that.
In some ways, it's almost like liberating or just changing up when you're going so often to set distances, set sort of trajectories, and you come out on a day like today, you have to hit shots. The conditions are dictating that you're going to go maybe a little off of what would normally be your road mount.
For sure. It's, I think it's why I have had some good rounds in conditions like this, because I can't really play golf swing. I have to play way more golf, and I can't be worried about, I can't be over the ball thinking about, what it's like here, and if I'm, getting this way or weight one way or another, I just have to, if the wind's blowing 25 or 30 off my left shoulder, I need to figure out how to make it not go right, and I need to keep it lower than this apex, and I need to do, and it's just all feel. So really there's something to be said for that, and I need to do a better job of doing that when it's blowing 5 miles an hour and not 35 miles an hour.
Two things. With wind being technically a science, is there an art to playing it?
Definitely.
What is it?
I just think it's control. I think it's why Scotty's so good in the wind. He hits the middle of the club face about every time. That's a huge part of it, the distance control. It's hard to explain because the difference of if you have a straight left to right wind or straight right to left wind, the difference of riding the wind and holding the wind can be, 15 or 20 yard difference in the air in this kind of conditions. So it's just total. It's just you have to just hit the shot that's required. And I feel like, I shouldn't say hit the shot that you are requiring. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways to get it in one place, but it's just you need to do what you're trying to do. If you're trying to hold one and you ride the wind, that's not good for a lot of reasons. And I don't know. Yeah, I think it's way more art because you just have to create and kind of feel out there.
Secondly, you've played this game long enough to have some stinkers every now and then. Is it easy when you have a week like Oakmont to close the chapter on it and move on instead of letting it linger in your head? Stinker wasn't the best word, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's unfortunately hasn't become any easier. I still get pretty pissed off about it, and it weighs on me more than it should. I wish that I think you hear a lot of guys talk about it. Their golf defining them. It doesn't change who they are as a person, but I still very clearly think of myself as my person of how I'm playing golf. I would like to change that, but it's just the reality. It means a lot to me. But, you could say it's good or bad, but I think, I'm coming to a place that I like, and I feel like I kind of know. It's a lot easier for me to get over last week versus, maybe if I was going to a course that I haven't had success at, or I feel like I have a hard time playing, then it could be a little like, uh-oh, what are we going to do kind of thing.
What's unique or special about this stop on the mountain?
It's a great tournament. I mean, I'm glad that everybody is kind of experiencing it and playing, because I think it's a great tournament, and it's deserved a lot of accolades and a lot of respect from players and fans and everybody. And it's just and now the guys are coming to play it. I think they see it, and it's a really fun golf course, especially after the week after the U.S. Open. That can sometimes not be that fun. It feels like a little bit of a relief, but it also still, obviously requires a lot, but it's a totally different kind.
Did you take any time off after the U.S. Open? Like, did you spend any time without touching a club?
Sunday I did. I went out and practiced a good bit Saturday because I felt like I was, obviously I felt like pretty terribly, but I just wanted to get some work in because I felt like I was really close and just kind of I just wasn't sharp. I mean, I hit a lot of really, really good shots, and it's still kind of similar now. I just am hitting, in my opinion, too many shots that aren't good enough. So it's just kind of tightening that up, and so that's what I try to do, and I took Sunday off, yeah.
So going back to Doug's point a little bit about the art and the science of it, how long did it take you to sort of develop either the trust in what you were trying to do when you would play in games like this, or to just sort of know that these are the shots that are sort of required? This is how I need to contend with a day like today.
I couldn't tell you like a certain point where I was like, oh, that was it, or whatever. But it's, I don't know. I just think, I mean, you play so long, and I mean, I've played so many rounds of golf in so many different kinds of conditions that I think, you almost have like kind of muscle memory or just memory of stuff in past, and then you just try to hopefully pick up on some things that you've learned and just notice, and then. But yeah, I mean, when like in an Open Championship or something, or any tournament, you're kind of not middle of the pack or something, but I see like windy conditions, I just get excited because I know it's just extremely difficult, and a couple under goes a really, really, really long way, and I just try to embrace it, and I feel like I do a decent job of that.
When you got to the range this morning, did you think 64 was out there?
I always think it's out there, yeah.
For you, it is.
Thanks.